QPR, QPR, Chris Charles Rangers are on the up and up. QPR, QPR, now we're heading for European Cup.
Hello and welcome to Open All Ours, the QPR podcast. I'm David Fraser. We have the fullest of full houses tonight. We've got five of us chewing the fat. Is that a phrase that people use? Chewing the fat over Queen's Park Rangers, our last two games, and anything else that needs talking about this wonderful club of ours. We have the four founders. So there's me. There's to my left is Chris Mendes from ITV Sport.
Hello.
There is Chris Charles from BT Sport, finishing a hobnob.
Yeah, I'm not chewing the fat. I'm chewing the hobnob. Hello. Hi.
Not chewing a hobnob because, of course, they contain gluten, which is a discussion just before coming on air that we've just had. If people could hear us, I think we were talking about there's a bakery called Artisan Bakery in Islington that serves gluten-free fish and chips, Paul. And then we press record, and now we talk about football. Paul Finney.
Welcome, and I'll tell you another thing. Yes, indeed. We shouldn't give free advertising on the podcast. We should charge them people, and they should buy us drinks.
You should pay us and buy us drinks, Artisan Bakery.
I said there's gluten-free Cornish pasties. I would love a gluten-free Cornish pasty. Anyway, carry on.
That sounds good.
It does, doesn't it?
That does sound good, yeah.
You could just get a normal one, though.
I mean, I could,
Don't sit near me for a while. Anyway, crack on.
How much would it improve your match day experience at QPR if they served gluten-free hot dogs?
Oh, Jesus. It'd be like watching Brazil with nice food. It would improve it immensely. Well, QPR could be Brazilian on the pitch with their sleeky skills and their wonderfulness, and then to have like gluten-free food and hot dogs and be heaven.
What food do you buy then at the football?
I haven't brought anything at QPR for. I used to buy Lily some chips when she goes, but I don't really have anything at QPR.
Right.
I mean, there's people around me tell me I'm very, very lucky.
We also have a fifth man in the studio today.
Fifth wheel. The fifth beetle.
The fifth beetle, indeed. We're inducting him into the Open All Ours club.
Yes.
Because must be your fifth appearance.
Maybe more.
So something like
First
that.
this season.
Yeah.
I'm saying nothing.
Editor of Kick magazine.
Yes.
QPR author.
Yeah, that's still around somewhere, yeah.
And host of Alive and Kicking, the 90s football podcast, Ash Rose.
Hello, good to be back. I have just learnt they do gluten-free baked bread as well. So
where? At Artisan Bakery
No,
in
did you say
Islington?
Sainsbury's? I mean, other good supermarkets are available, but
They
don't do the gluten-free bread.
Welcome to Celiac Park Rangers.
That is our title.
There we go.
And
I must say, the hot dogs at Rangers aren't that bad. They roll over, aren't they, still?
Yeah, so they just come in a packet, don't
Yeah,
they?
they're
Just
right.
heat them
Yeah.
up,
Is,
right?
is, the
they're
food,
right.
is the food at QPR sensibly priced?
No.
Food and drink?
No.
But what
No.
football ground is?
Yeah. Why is that? Why is that, do you think?
Because you can't leave the stadium to buy food anywhere else, so they know that you have to get food there if you're hungry.
Yeah, once you're locked in.
What should football clubs do to improve this? Because there's always a question we ask the fans forums and people say, there's much more important things to worry about, and there is.
Selection as well. I mean, you can barely get a chia seed and quinoa salad at any football ground these days.
I feel your pain. No, but surely if the club sold things that people would want,
a deli.
make
Maybe
more
they should
money.
have a full-on deli that you can go and get a sandwich.
Did he play for Spurs?
I think Spurs do sell bagels. I've had them before at Spurs. Cream cheese, smoked salmon and cream cheese bagels. Now, obviously, they have a quite a big Jewish following, which you can sort of add your own stereotype
So has
here.
QPR.
But it was quite a nice change to have it there.
We've got
They used to have it's the last time I said about it, years and years and years ago. They did an experiment in the lower loft where they had not bagels. They had baguettes with bacon for people. And
Oh
everyone-
wow, what an experiment that must have been.
yeah. Well, as opposed to like your Cornish, your baldy pies and all that malarkey. And it went really well, and the queues were outside the door, and then they shut it. And I thought, well, that'll teach them.
So sorry, what was your question? What was the question
Well,
again?
what
about
would
the
improve
catering?
the food experiences at QPR?
Why not have
and what would improve?
prices?
And what would improve their?
Why not have a taste of the culture of our owners? Have some Malaysian food. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Pad
What
Thai.
would it improve it? I don't know. It's prices and fewer
Well, they
queues,
should
less
have more
queues.
Less
deals
queues
like they
would
did
be
against
good.
Burton. I mean, that was probably the only decent thing at the whole match was that £3 pie and a pint. Particularly as I found another voucher on the floor, so I got 2 pies and 2 pints for £6. But if they
Did
had
you
a
have
few,
them all 4 items yourself?
yes,
Anyway,
Very good. Right, should we actually talk about the football here?
I go.
No.
I'm quite enjoying the food.
Because let me do the bits that I need to do. So, you can, if you are new to our podcast, you can listen to old episodes at qprpod.co.uk. Follow us on Facebook and do communicate with us on Twitter if you use the microblogging service. You can follow us at QPR Pod. Finally, many thanks again. We've had the beers bought again this week by Hank Chandler. If you go to our website, click on, I think it's donate to the show. I think there is an option to buy us the beers. So many thanks.
I think that's a
to
brilliant
Hank
name, by the way.
Chandler.
Say it again.
Hank Chandler.
Many,
You see,
many
he
Hanks.
he should be an actor.
Do you think it's Hank Chandler or Hank Chandler?
You're asking a dyslexic that question.
How did
What
I
do
say
you
on
think?
Friends?
That's 2 off the list. Bingo watchers.
But thank you
Let's
very
just-
much.
Yeah.
Thanks for those beers. And
But you really should be an actor with a name like that. I'm sorry, Hank, but
That's
you
a
should
great-
do.
that's
It
a
is a
great name.
Good
brilliant.
It's a great name.
It-
That's a good beer buying name. And listen, if you were out there thinking, I'd really like them to talk about my name for 60 seconds next week,
Get me pissed in the crown.
buy us the beers.
Do you
buy
have a
us the
better
beers.
name than Hank Chandler?
Do you have a better name than Hank Chandler? If you do, go on our website, click on donate to the podcast or support the show, buy us the beers, which I think is £10, and we will talk and debate your name next week.
And if you don't bring any more celiac food into the ground, then Finney will always be Hank Marvin.
Do you know what name I always remember really well at QPR? Do you know what, I like that. But do you know what name I always remember at QPR as being the most ironic of names ever? Was, remember the ABC loan, that horrible, disgusting loan that QPR took out and got absolutely mullered on? The guy that did it was a guy called Mike Hunt. And that is true.
There was a teacher at my school called that. Yes.
Was he a nice teacher?
No.
Anyway.
He was a Mike Hunt. He was a Michael Hunt. Right, okay. Let's talk about the football then. So 2 games since we... First of all, Paul, you haven't podded for 2-3 weeks now. So
Must be nice for
welcome
you. Thanks.
2 games since we recorded last week, and the closing of the transfer window slammed shut.
2
since
draws.
the last podcast. Ash,
Yo.
I mean, you haven't been on for a while, so let's come to you. 2 away games. What's your verdict on Newcastle and Blackburn?
Well, Newcastle was way better than I thought it would be, especially after the first minute. I thought we were in for another 6-0 after seeing that from the first minute. It's very QPR of the last 3 games to only get something out of Newcastle away rather than Burton at home and Blackburn away. So I thought I was really impressed with us against Newcastle. I thought, after that initial shock and John Joe Shelby scoring, I thought we were the better team for most of the first half. Showed intent, actual creating chances, which we've lacked a lot of this season, and I was really impressed. And then we got the goals, and we got the bit of luck at the end, obviously, with the own goal. But I think you create your own luck, and I think we did in that game. Unfortunately, that kind of hit us in the backside, I suppose, on Saturday when the luck went against us, and the goal that never was. And it was disappointing on that last minute goal. But I wasn't at Blackburn, but I hear the performance was pretty good, apart from the last minute. So,
Paul?
Oh, that was just, he's good, isn't he? We shouldn't get people on to talk sense.
The professional broadcaster.
whoa, I'm going professional.
Is 5 people a quorum?
Why
Whatever.
not? Yeah.
He's the professional broadcaster around the table here.
I think it
He
stretches
does-
it a bit there.
He does wrestling stuff on Talk Sport.
Right,
don't
do.
you?
I was
Yeah.
talking to him about wrestling. Don't get me started on wrestling. I just.
He's a rose between 2 thorns.
Ooh, anyway, going back to the
We used
football.
that last time I was on.
I'm sure grown men enjoy wrestling quite. As
They
much
do,
as,
yeah.
As,
It's the oil that helps. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. How was Blackburn?
Blackburn was bizarre. I mean, Newcastle, by the way, I thought we did really well. We played really well, but you kind of knew we'd go to Newcastle, get a point, and probably lose to Blackburn, which is what I said to my mate Alan in the car on the way there. We didn't deserve to lose because we had a perfectly good goal ruled out. In fact, the guy from Burnley phoned me up and said he saw it going across the line. The lines person was ridiculous. The referee was ridiculous. It was just the most stupidest thing since Clinton Hills won, if you remember that way back a few years ago.
But at least with Clint Hill's one, there was kind of an element of doubt
Yeah.
about whether it did cross the line or not.
Only
This
if you
was as
only
clear
if you
as
were
day.
completely couldn't see anything.
Well, in the moment, this one was clear.
It was well over as well.
It was. I mean,
Shambles.
this hit the artificial. Anyone that was, you don't need to, been to Blackburn, they've got like an artificial strip behind their goal line. I don't know why. One little bit of strip of artificial pitch. I think someone placed a beauty on it when they're not playing, and it bounced off that. It's just ridiculous decision. And then you kind of unfortunately felt the longer the game went on, they only needed one chance Because it was the bizarre thing was their fans were kidding the owners, and I don't blame them for that. And they were also kidding Owen Cole, obviously because of his Burnley connections. They don't like him, and he's taking them down as they were singing. They scored the old cheered, and then continued singing Owen Cole's taking us down and hammering them.
I just can't work out how we've got 2 defeats and 1 draw from 3 games against Blackburn this season.
They're not a good team whatsoever.
They're a dreadful team. They're so low on confidence. But you know what? I suppose in some respects we just got to. I mean, on Twitter there's as usual there's a huge meltdown, and I'm usually part of that. But my phone wasn't working, so it was fine. And you kind of think to yourself, we're still building.
I can't read all that stuff anymore. Just give me
I
the
ignore
brief
it.
summary.
The thing is, our season's over. Every game is an extension.
We're in pre-season.
Yeah.
Yes, we are, and we've got to.
Again.
He's got to find a balance. He's got to get the right team together. He's got to find his strengths, his weaknesses, and unfortunately, this is where we are. But I say that, but we could still get.
I was
drawn
just
into
about to say we're saying we're in pre-season, but and that kind of means we think we're all comfortable. But are we comfortable?
I wouldn't say comfortable, but I don't think we're going to go down.
We're only six off.
Yeah, I mean, I had a look at the last few games, and I had us down as getting, I think, 18, 19 points. Which
Please don't tell me you're predicting.
That's early predictor
I
time.
can't
Yeah,
predict that because you would have thought we'll beat Burton,
Yeah,
we'll probably
I know.
lose to Newcastle, and we'll get something from.
Well, I'm
Blackburn.
factoring the QPR-ness into all
Have
of
you?
this. Yeah,
that should be in the
but-
dictionary. The QPR list.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us
Put
what
it
you've
into the
worked out, then.
supercomputer.
Tell us what you've worked out. Come on.
Right. Okay. So I reckon we'll draw with Huddersfield. We'll win away at Birmingham. We'll win against Wigan. We'll lose at Preston. QPR-ness. We will draw and get home to Cardiff because of Warnock. Beat Barnsley, lose to Leeds, beat Rotherham, lose to Derby, draw at Villa, draw at Brighton, lose to Bristol City, draw Wednesday, draw Brentford, win against Forest, and lose to Norwich. That's
And that gives
basically.
us 19.
How many wins is that?
21 points. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably being over optimistic there. but-
So what would that
probably
take us to?
about
50, 55?
I mean, you need 52. That was what Holloway first time around. 52 was like the holy grail once you get to that. But I think you probably don't need quite that
probably
much.
need 50. Right?
I think I'm not.
You
arguing
can
with
say
it.
what you like, mate.
No, I will. Thank you. I think we'll beat everyone good and lose everyone crap.
Yeah.
We have so many options.
Well,
now.
I've got us losing to Bristol City, losing to Preston. Not the Preston.
I think we'll beat Huddersfield on Saturday. But we'll come back later on.
Explain to me under what circumstances and in what universe you think we'll beat Huddersfield. I hope we'll beat Huddersfield,
Just QPR.
but there's absolutely no logic, rhyme, or reason in thinking that we will. Huddersfield have lost 1 in 10,
Does it matter?
and they've
matter.
only drawn 2 in 10.
We'll beat Huddersfield and we'll probably lose to Birmingham, who haven't won a game.
Well, yeah,
since.
that's bound
no,
to
they
happen.
did.
Oh
didn't
no,
they?
they did.
Did they?
Yeah, they've ended that. But as I said the other way,
Yeah,
it's
they
about
won on the
time.
weekend,
Oh, that's
which I'm
right. Then
pleased about because it was
we'll
going to
win,
happen
we'll win 2
against
games
us.
then. That's fine. We'll beat Huddersfield and we'll beat Birmingham away.
But it's about time we ended someone else's run rather than the other way around. And when we normally open the doors, if you haven't scored in your career, have 2.
Lloyd Doyle.
If you haven't won in 20 games, have 3 points. So it'd be nice for the boots on the other foot. The problem we've got is that we're creating a lot more chances, but we're just not putting them away. I mean, Connor Washington's very unlucky. He could have had his 3rd goal in as many games, and he's I'm really pleased for him because he. To be fair to the crowd, they didn't give him any stick. They weren't on his back, but
He was impressive against Newcastle first half.
Yeah.
I thought
There
very good.
was a few people around me who haven't been impressed by him. I kind of went on Twitter in my drunken state after the Newcastle game in the pub and said, I wish you'd give him a chance. But yeah. Really
I hear you're
nice.
quite a fan of Washington.
Yeah. I mean, I
Where's
think
he from?
he's actually from. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's where he plays.
Yeah.
He tries really hard, and on Saturday you can see with Matt Smith. I can see what Holloway's doing. It's going to be a typical Holloway side. Matt Smith does win a lot on the air, and that's what he's in for.
It's furlong a gallon, isn't it? A little bit.
Yeah. What his feet are like, I'm not so sure. But I tell you what.
Sorry, what his figures like?
What his
feet.
feet. If he's a bit of a wee
Okay.
bit of a crouch, because if Crouch is a one-off, he was absolutely brilliant with his feet. People forget that. And I don't know. You
Good
can
feet
see
for
what
a big
Holloway's
man.
trying to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good touch from him.
Yeah. 100 goals in Premier League, amazing. Sorry.
Am I right? Am I right in thinking? Why am I not impressed with Peter Crouch at 36 years old as a centre forward, only having scored 100 goals in the Premier League?
He's not prolific.
When Frank Lampard, who retired, scored something like 170 goals. Sorry, I know it's QPR podcast.
Because Lampard had a longer stretch
Yeah.
in the Premier League as well.
Crouch doesn't start.
And Lampard's a one-off.
Stoke
His
over the
goal
last
scoring's
2
a
or 3
one-off for a
seasons.
midfielder. You won't see that again.
Yeah.
He spent many years at Liverpool where he came off the bench a lot as well.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Paul. Back to you.
You threw me there with the Chelsea reference.
Yeah, sorry.
Um,
Yes, he's not. Matt Smith. You were saying he's not
Hello,
Crouch.
Peter Crouch will be remembered for that best quote ever. What would you be if you weren't a professional footballer? Everyone who knows it, I don't need to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see what he's doing.
What about people who don't know it? What about people who are listening and saying, Paul, what?
Google it.
Yeah.
Google it.
Well done.
There's a 2017
So
answer.
the thing is, you can see what's going on. I mean, you can see how he's trying to build a side, and the only thing is, Perch worries me a wee bit. He was flying in on Saturday, and I thought he was lucky not to get into serious trouble for a challenge he did on Saturday, which he really flung himself at one of their players, and he did a few at Newcastle, which were a bit close to the edge as well. So
He'll be phased out of the team though eventually.
think so?
Yeah, he's not. I think he's an option that we have at the moment. But I think the team that Ollie's building, I think he'll be. I mean, he's, as Chris said earlier, the options we have now are ridiculous, especially in midfield. But I think Perch isn't, someone we're going to rely on going forward. I don't think.
okay.
We do seem to be. I think you mentioned, Chris, possession. We do see. I looked at the stats of the last few games. Actually, I didn't look at the Newcastle game, but every other game, we're completely dominating possession. The Burton game, I think we had 2/3 of the possession to their 1/3. On Saturday against Blackburn, I think it was something like more or less 60%.
We had a lot. We've had a lot of possession against Newcastle as well.
We're creating a lot more chances than the opposition.
But then against
the problem
Reading-
is putting it away.
Against Reading, I think they had 78% of the possession when we won. So
It's true. If we had someone like Charlie Austin in the team now, then I think we'd be winning.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying
Yeah.
we've got the possession and we're creating the chances.
Yeah.
We're not putting them away.
No, but it's encouraging, I think, to see Washington being in the right places. For, I mean, he's not scoring 20-yarders, but he's popping up in the right place just to nudge it over the line. But I mean, he was never going to be a prolific scorer when you're shoving him out on the left wing or trying to operate as a lone front man with balls coming down with snow on them.
Ollie's not afraid to give young players a chance, and Gregor Cox, who's come back from injury, scored 5 in 2 games for the under-23s.
He scored 2 today, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got a hat trick in the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you forget as well about Washington is that he's been on a hell of a journey. I mean, you talk about Vardy and stuff, but Washington's come from non-league as well, and he's come very quickly through the leagues as well, so he's still found his feet. The Championship is bloody hard. I mean, look at the Premiership strikers that can't score in the Championship.
And what about Silla?
Ooh.
I mean,
Surprise.
is he injured or not? I mean, we thought Corker was injured, and maybe we'll talk more about that later. But
He's injured somewhere, Stephen Corker, but it's up here.
Yeah. But he
Points to head.
Yeah, points to head.
But his strike rate is 1 in 3. He's better than 1 in 3. I think it's 8 in 21. Silla's got this season, quite a few of them coming off the bench. And I know there's a few detractors, and I got a bit of stick on Twitter because I thought, much as I love Ollie, I thought he was wrong to publicly ball him out when he didn't want to come off against Reading.
Although he looked like he was okay with it.
He did the next game, yeah. Oh, Ollie did, or
No, Silla, when you
He
look,
wasn't that
when
much
you
of a
look-
strop, was
It
it?
wasn't a strop. It was someone.
he was
just
just
walked
trudging
off.
off, basically.
I like players who don't want to come off. That's what you want to
Well,
see.
exactly. That was my point. And I'm not having a go at Ollie because I love Ollie. I think he's great, but I personally think you shouldn't air your dirty laundry in public because some players don't respond to the old teacup style of managing. Some players want the proverbial arm around the shoulder, and it's a confidence thing. So I mean, I don't know what's wrong with Silla, whether he's definitely out or I presume he is.
I think when you look at QPR over the last few years in the Premier League and that, we've had players that run the dressing room. Now we've got a manager who runs the dressing room, and people are saying that's wrong. So what do we actually want then?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with the manager. I totally agree with that, and I think again, what he does behind closed doors is fine. But I just personally, I thought I was a bit when he just when you name and shame players in press conferences, it makes me a bit uneasy. But who's to say I'm right? I mean,
No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is there's a balance here because we've had a dressing room that's been called toxic, that's bad eggs, everything else. Now Holloway, not you, talking about you in general, but on Twitter it's like everyone hammering Holloway, and I'm thinking. It's interesting, because our players too mollycoddled these days. Can't they be told stuff? I mean, he was obviously disappointed in Silla's reaction.
Totally. He should be. I mean, Ollie should have said to him, "I don't want you doing that." When he got in the dressing room, fair
not
enough.
in public.
I just thought maybe it should be, kept in house.
No, that's fair enough.
Happy with the business we did in the transfer window?
I'll let you know in a year.
The championship players, which is a good thing. I like Threeman. What I've seen with him, he's quite a guy. I think he might, although he wears number 2, which really annoys me from a squad number purpose. Don't like that. Hate that. But no, I think I'm impressed with him. I haven't seen enough of Matt Smith to know. he looks like Paul said, like that kind of tall, holds up the ball type striker. So I haven't seen enough of him. We bought championship players that know the league, which is an encouraging sign. It was weird to see 6 new signings we had on the 5 new signings on the bench on Saturday. So they're going to take time to gel. And where everyone fits in, obviously only Ollie knows, because there's so many options.
What about the number 10 shirt? Is it too soon for the young lad? Do we think that's too soon to put the pressure on the young lad? Do you have to earn the number 10 shirt?
Who are we talking about?
Sean Goss has got the
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
So-
Oh God, his first touch when he came on to make his debut almost gifted Newcastle the game.
That's nothing to do with number 10 shirt, though.
Well, it might be. Maybe it's the pressure of the number 10 shirt.
You never see Roy Wegley.
But it used to be,
I think people
you
read.
have to earn that, wouldn't you?
I don't know. I think
What do
people-
you do with it? Do you like semi-retire the number 10 shirt until someone's good enough to fill it?
Nah, I think people read too much into that. I think,
Okay.
I think
Did Cherry earn it? I don't think Cherry really earned it.
I
Well,
agree
but-
with the shirt numbers.
Who was the last proper number 10 then?
the best thing about the transfer window. Well, who? Odell.
Adele would, but even though his good season, he didn't wear 10, did he? But I think when he got 10, he was the ideal kind of
Or just give
candidate.
Smithy's number 10 and then you'll have a good one, won't you?
I hear you, but it's always...
Sheffield Wednesday's goalkeeper wears number 2, which I find is bizarre as well. Yeah, because he's the second choice goalkeeper, which I kind of logically that makes sense, but it looks weird. Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, no, the transfer window, listen, championship players in, I would say there's been a change in club structure in transfers, and that's no bad thing, and we will find out next season if they're good. But at least the players that know this league. I mean, what is the deal with Yanni? We never talk about Yanni.
Let's talk about Yenny.
Yeah, Yanni. What do you... I mean,
What do we think's the deal with Yenny?
Well, remember when we signed him, there was all this on YouTube, the
Yeah.
goals, the movement.
Well, didn't his father passed away?
Yeah,
Didn't he? I think
that's-
so. That he was out for a while because of that, and then he came into the side briefly and didn't particularly cover himself in glory. But yeah, you're right. I think sometimes, again, you're not quite sure whether players are injured, whether they're just out of favour, or I don't know. I don't know the answer. What I was just going to say though was about Vel Morrison, because a few people say,
Oh, yeah.
well, why wasn't he given 90 minutes? And again, I looked it up. I think this is
He's
his
played a game for 3
yeah.
years, hasn't he?
first competitive
More or less.
game for 286 days when he
Whoa.
came off the bench.
Hit the
Right.
crossbar today, played 90 minutes.
Yeah, I heard
Which
it
is
from
good.
That was a real Morrison,
on.
just
Yeah.
popping into
Fine.
Yeah.
That
playing the
was a bin
crossbar
lid.
challenge.
That was a bin lid.
hitting the bar sound effects.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
hit from 30 yards apparently. I mean, there's no doubt in his talent, but I mean, you can't not play for 286 days and then just come straight into.
Is
a tournament.
that how long it is exactly?
Yeah,
an interesting note.
Yeah, and how many days before that? He played three games for
Yeah.
Lazio in 2 years.
But the word is
a bit more than that. I mean, according to,
3.5?
he played in the cup against Juventus. I think it was about 8 or 9 altogether.
The best thing about
He is
this,
a talent now.
the best thing about this transfer window is that we've got so many options now that the exciting thing is in the summer you have the prospect of just letting players go who you don't want and not having to make too many changes because you've already got so many players. Whereas last 3 windows we've just completely overhauled the squad.
Who will leave in the summer then, do you think? Colker?
Well, Holloway's got enough time now to just decide which of these players he doesn't need. He's got so many, he can't keep all of them.
Well, apparently, we had a bid rejected late on for Elphick as well at Villa. That was another one that they almost got over the line. So
That's right,
I
yeah.
think defensively we may look in the summer, but I think elsewhere there isn't a lot of strikers. Is always everyone in the division wants a striker.
Well, I think
but
what he's going to do once, assuming we do in the next few games, start to pull away a bit from the bottom. I mean, it's given him sort of license to experiment a bit more, which he has been doing to an extent. And once Easy's fit again, for instance, it'd be interesting to see, what he's like. He's given a few more minutes under his belt. Grego Cox as well, bringing him on like the second half of games. If we've got, yeah, I mean,
Petrasio is someone I completely forgot about, and
yeah.
I think he's coming back. I think he
Played today
He
again.
played
He was
today
on
as well.
the
Yeah.
bench. Yeah.
So and like Ollie said, we didn't have any wingers we took over, but now I look at the squad. There's quite a few. I know Shapido's gone out on loan, but there's quite a few wingers now we can play. So
What happened with Colker? As far as the loan, I feel like I saw it and then missed it. Did he go?
well,
on
I don't
loan?
know because there's been all this stuff in the papers,
Yeah.
hasn't there, about
something in a
well,
bar,
he's
wasn't it?
being
Yeah.
arrested.
Yeah, he
and-
was arrested, but that was a few weeks ago.
He's gone to
That was
Russia
2 or 3
Yeah,
via
apparently,
He
Wimbledon.
has gone.
He's
to
got
Russia.
to local off Moscow. Yeah.
Has it been confirmed, or we're not
Well, that's
sure?
that,
I think it was
don't
confirmed.
know.
I think it was on I think the club put it on there on deadline day. So
Well, okay, fine. So I have in front of me a picture my brother sent me of the 2014-15 first team squad, QPR, right? So that is 1.5 years ago, whatever it was. No, 2.5 years ago. 2 seasons ago. There are...
So that's the second Premier League season. The start of the second time we got promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So 2 seasons ago, there are 30 people in this picture. Guess how many are left at the club? 30 players and staff.
I was going to say
2 or 3.
Yeah, I can't think.
2.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say 2.
Any guesses who they are?
Corker and Anua.
I knew it,
Gregor
yeah.
Cox,
Well, Kulka is on the out list.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Anua?
Okay. But he's on loan, so
Anua.
technically he's still at the club.
And
one of the reserve keeper.
no, Gregor Cox was it?
Carl Henry.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Carl.
Everyone else
Gone.
has gone. I mean, I'll just read you the back line of this photo. Armand Traore, Nico Crankiar, Matt Phillips, Richard Dunn, Rio Ferdinand, Stephen Kolka, Charlie Austin, Neda Manua, and Sandro.
Well, we've kept the 2 best
How
ones.
did we ever go down with that team?
Crazy, right?
That
Middle
is
row,
crazy.
Adel Tarap, Yunsuk Young, Jordan Much,
Jordan Much. I
Rob
forgot he
Green,
even played for
Alex
us.
McCarthy, Leroy Furr, Bobby Zamora, Carl Henry, bottom line, Sean Wright Phillips, Junior Hoylett, Clint Hill, then all the management who've gone,
4,
Joey
5,
Bond, Eduardo Vargas, Mauricio Isla.
If you look at the
Eddie
squad in
Vargas.
2 years, I'm pretty sure there'll be more than 2 who are there now.
Has anyone ever worked in a workplace with 30 people, 28 of whom have moved on within 2 years? You wouldn't get anything done. You certainly wouldn't be a good workplace. You wouldn't be getting any sort of results. How can you possibly expect to get any sort of like consistency, results, positivity when you have that rate of turnover? It's absolutely crazy. I'll tweet that later.
It's done
Well,
now,
like
though, isn't
Chris
it?
said, I mean, hopefully this season, because we've got this surplus, we are going to get rid of a few more clearly at the end of the season. But hopefully, what Ollie's building now is a nucleus of, particularly because we've got so many young players that, like you said, that in 2 or 3 years' time there will be more than 2 people left. I don't know about Anua. There was rumours that there was bids for him, wasn't there, from Prem teams?
Sunderland,
Was
was
it
it?
Sunderland?
I heard.
And it didn't
You don't
come
want to
to
go
anything, but,
No.
It's an interesting one about Anua because there's no question about it. The lad can play, but for some reason his confidence is down and he's not endearing himself to the Ars faithful. But he did a couple of mistakes on Saturday. But I don't know. Would he be better without the? I know you said the armband doesn't matter, but I just think that armband's
No,
got
it
to his
can
head.
matter to the player. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
I don't think he'll
necessarily
have it
matter.
next season anyway. I think when Ollie's got a pre-season, I think he'll give it to someone else anyway.
I think Lynch would be captain.
Yeah, possibly. Because he's not an Ollie captain, is he?
He does like to shout things about other players you can hear in the pitch. He's an
Who?
interesting.
Anua?
No, Lynch. When he came on the pod, he was very,
What did you think of his incident at Newcastle where they wanted him to sent off? thought
I
it was-
wouldn't have sent him off, but
Nah.
I'm biased as hell.
Yeah,
So-
I think Shelby should have gone, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah,
it just
definitely,
annoyed the
yeah.
hell out of that player. I mean, Mackie was brilliant, wasn't he? Just the way Cap got up to him and was like,
Yeah.
what's
Well,
your
he's
problem?
another one you could have captain. Is there not a more Ollie player than Jamie Mackie?
Yeah.
No, that's
True.
true.
He never gives. You actually watch him for 90 minutes. I know it's like preaching to the converted, but he's got some bloody engine on him, hasn't he? I mean, he
For
just
someone who's
never
been out
stops.
as long as he's
Exactly.
been out as well.
And the injuries he's had, he doesn't care. And I think that's a great shout about the captain's armband. But the trouble is, he's too busy running up the pitch before he talks to anyone. I don't know, but you talk about the thing about Washington, will he get goals? I think Washington could be a good finisher, but you got to supply the strikers. But you never know. I mean, Holloway has a lot of faith in him because he said when we did the podcast, remember, that he had a hell of a lot of faith in him. And Manning is turned into a great player. I mean,
Obvious, yeah.
on Saturday he was kicked off the park again. Have you noticed this? Every team is targeting him to try and he's a slight lad like myself. He's very skinny.
Skinny Finney.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, but he takes the punishment and he gets up and he gets on with it, and it's a breath of fresh air for. To me, if the season started, if he got it in August, he'd have been player of the season.
Was he your
Well,
man?
I think he'll be young player of the season. I think
Easily, yeah.
Smithies will get player, and it's nice to see Smithies recognised. It was today it came out, doesn't he? Nominated for the London Football League Player of the Year. Bearing in mind
Brilliant.
he's up against Premier League players, and for the Goalkeeper of the Year as well. Oh, sorry, Championship Player of the Year and Goalkeeper of the Year.
Could I say?
No, goalkeepers from all the clubs in London. And to be honest, looking at the list, then he's got a good chance of winning it.
Who's he up against?
Well, he's against Hugo Lloris, Thibaut Courtois.
So was he nominated, or
for
was it just all London goalkeepers are nominated?
Just London goalkeepers. Yeah, it's something to do with Bob Wilson set up this.
Okay.
this
They let him
awards
penalties. He should win just for the penalty saves.
Yeah.
Well, he's someone who might not be here next season.
Well, he
but that's
won't, will
for
he? I
other
mean, let's face
reasons. I think.
I mean,
so.
he's played his future at the club so far, and he seems like, I think we had him on the podcast, seemed like a lovely fella.
Well, he said he doesn't want to leave. In an interview, he said his family are now settled
That's right, yeah.
in Windsor, and he's quite happy to stay at the club for the next few years.
Won't
Yeah,
stop
but
a
he
London
could-
club calling though.
That's what I mean. That's what
I've
I
got a
was
funny
gonna say.
idea who it will be as well.
Yeah,
West Ham.
there's a certain club that pays a lot of money for very good reserve goalies.
Yeah.
And want their keeper out, the reserve keeper once out. So,
Yeah.
which would be a shame because that's one thing that annoys me about the Premier League. Sorry, Chris,
No,
but
no.
is the players that just go and sit on the bench, but they
I
earn a
don't think-
fortune.
They stockpile, don't they?
But
Is he like that?
Some keepers won't do that though. They just want to play football.
It's hard for a keeper though because
He plays for
there's
10 years in
only
life, Chris.
92 opportunities for a keeper to play in the whole league. It's like it's not like strikers or defenders. There's very few clubs that you can play at. So keepers often have to take their chances when they've got them, and so it's sort of quite easy to say.
Look at Matt
like, well,
Ingram. He's a perfectly adequate
Exactly.
goalkeeper, yet he's sitting on the bench all season. And I mean, he's good for us because it's a good replacement. But
The one thing is, if Smithies does go, it's I don't want him to, but it's kind of okay because at least they've sort of done it in the right way. They've bought him for a certain amount. We will sell him for a lot more. There's a succession plan in place. They don't have to then scratch their heads and say, what now? Because Ingram is a fine keeper himself. And that's kind of what we want now for QPR. So I
How
don't
long's left on his deal? Does anyone know?
think it's about a year and a
I
half.
think
That's
year and
what
a
I was
half,
going to
yeah.
say. We could do really with getting him signed up. You know, even the fact, knowing the fact we're going to sell him, if we can get him
I
signed
think-
up to another.
I think he will sign what we've been hearing in the press. He will sign pretty soon. Les Ferdinand's pretty confident he will, and what he's been saying, Smithies, is that he's happy to stay here for the next few years. So
Let's
watch
hope
this
so.
We
space.
don't want another Charlie Austin episode, do we?
No, I don't think
Slightly
we're there yet.
different.
Sign while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
You weren't here, Paul, but I'll repeat it. First of all, Chris, I have noticed that you took my stress ball and now you're squeezing it.
I
but
only
I'll let
took it
go.
because there's another one to your right.
Oh yeah, there is.
you really
sorry.
say that?
Yes, I did. We've got-
stressful
there's
talking
hands
about
up, David.
QPR.
There's these balls that we're squeezing, and I put mine down, and Chris nicked it.
That's what happens when you start talking
Um,
about Smithies leaving.
Yeah, exactly. It's stressing me out. I said it last week, but I'll say it again. How did we only get 4 million for Charlie Austin with 6 months left on his contract, but West Brom got 12 million for Saido Berahino with exactly the
Yeah.
same amount of time on
who
his
hasn't
contract?
played all season?
Who
either.
hasn't played, served a drug ban, and is not as good a striker as Charlie
Your
Austin.
answer is Mark Hughes.
Yeah.
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 Possibly the CEO at the time who was very good.
Well, I
And
guess
stupidity.
probably the answer is we were a championship club when we sold Charlie Austin, so we were out of options and we didn't have much
Do you
power.
know
in
what?
that
I don't even think it was
situation.
that, David. I just think we just panicked and we had a board that didn't, well, a CEO that didn't really know what, and a manager who didn't really care.
I think
about
also-
came back in.
Also, with West Brom and Saido Berahino, there was no love lost between him and West Brom. So they were like, we don't care whether you want to go, we'll just keep you here until we get as much money as we want. Whereas Charlie Austin had done so much for QPR.
And he wanted to go to
He
that
wanted
club,
to go,
yeah.
so the club were like, okay, you've done a lot for us, we'll let you go.
Yeah.
Talking to Barahino and the thing is, we are all fans of Mark Hughes, aren't we? So it's awfully nice when he buys a player who might be facing a drug ban for a couple of years. Slant you, Tony.
Right. Okay. What else have we got to talk about? One thing I wanted to talk about before ours end. We've briefly touched on whether are we in trouble, are we in danger of going down. Ollie's record, as far as I can work out, 14 games, 8 losses. I think I have this right. 8 losses, 4 wins, 2 draws. What's the verdict so far?
Well, he had that stretch of games, was it 6 defeats in a row?
Yeah.
It's just kind of skewed with that, isn't
You
it?
you almost have to write them off.
I beg your
because
pardon, that'll be 9 losses then.
Yeah.
He's lost 9. Sorry, he's lost 9.
Nine,
Why
yeah.
can't we have a manager bounce that everyone else seems to have?
We had one game.
We had one game.
Yeah.
It's been so up and down. It's been quite hard to judge, and the team has changed. I'd be interested to know whether he's played the same starting lineup in 2 of those games. I don't think he has, but it's going to continue to be a transition period with the amount of new players that have come in. So I don't think you'll get a good idea of the impact he's having really until next season.
Yeah, I think it's hard to judge right now, isn't it? It's those 6 losses were him getting used to a squad that he didn't know.
Yeah.
He's got rid of the guys that he feels weren't worth to him, people like Cherry and so forth. Now he's got his own team. Maybe it's worth looking at the next, 6, 7 games and then judging him on that. But like Chris said, I don't think we will know the real Ollie team to at least the end of the season, and then once he's had a pre-season to judge.
Yeah,
And then he'll be moving on in January.
Yeah,
right?
and then of
The
course
rest
by
of them.
by
And then
October
we'll start again.
we'll
Yeah.
have Tony Pulis or someone. Yeah,
No, I mean I completely concur with that. You can't. I think as long as he keeps us up this season, which I think he will do, fingers crossed. Then next season is once he's got the summer out of the way and we've got rid of a few more, and hopefully don't want too many more in. Don't want to completely flood the squad, but. It's amazing the difference on the internet. On after the Newcastle game, he's being hailed as the Messiah, and then he's being called Hollowhead again after Saturday. So it just
The Hollowhead thing really confuses me.
Yeah.
It's not like he's never done anything for QPR in the past.
or Palace or Blackpool.
Yeah, I mean, well, they'll just look at our own club from our own perspective. It's almost like you bring back Terry Venables, and then after a while they start saying his cat because he loses a few games and stuff. It's like we have to have faith in somebody at some point, don't we? We have to.
Exactly.
And I've had my run-ins with Holloway. I've had my run-ins with everyone. I've probably run-ins with myself, but that's not the point. And I'm taking the perspective is I'm going to give him my full backing, my full support, because we have to do it with somebody at some point. We have to come together as one, unify, have unity, and go forward. Because I'm sick of the frigging fighting and arguing on Twitter all the time.
We all
Even if I
want
cause half of
we
it.
all want Holloway to do really well, but I think. Or do you think that we'd have a structure at the club now where if he does go, it's more about the people who are still there deciding who to buy the players, and whichever manager comes in after him can work with the same players. Whereas before, managers have come in.
That's exactly how it's just been banging on that for ages. Find a system that works, and then bring in the staff accordingly.
And don't change it 3 months into the
I
season.
think he'll be here for a while. I mean, like I say, if he keeps us up, which I think that's fair enough, then unless he has an absolute disaster at the start of next season, then I see no reason to. And I can't see why the board would want to, start again. I mean, it's just getting ridiculous.
It's not like they've got previous for that.
No.
It depends what expectations are next summer as well.
Yeah,
What do
that's
we
the one.
think of QPR? What will we expect us to do next season? Will we be happy in mid-table, a playoff push, even more? So he has to level out. I suppose it depends what happens over the summer.
Will this be the first season the teams come down and have the mega bucks and the parachute money?
Well, it seems like they've had it already this season, so expectations have to be realistic. Unless we spend that ridiculous money that Newcastle or whatever, Villa have been spending this season, and I'm sure that'll go up again next season with whoever goes down, and the clubs who fail to go up, then we can't really expect to finish in the top two. Just playoff position. Max.
We don't. I think this is our last year with the parachute money, isn't it? I think we lose that next year.
I'm talking about the three teams that come down.
No, I know you were saying that, but as well as them having it, I think we lose whatever we had.
See, that worries me a lot, because that means the board may panic greatly. Because I don't really
the teams that come down will have so many more resources. I guess Leicester will have Mahrez, Vardy, won't they?
See, that's an interesting one, Leicester, isn't it?
Southern will have Jolien Lescott and
Yeah, that's true. No,
Darren Gibson.
He'll go to whatever Premier League
Yeah,
team
that's
is
true,
in
yeah.
danger of going down.
whoever
But then
David
there's
Moyes played for before. Yeah.
But then there's always a Huddersfield type team.
Yeah.
There's always a Bournemouth type team. There's always someone who can break the mould. and
There
go
is
for
a
it.
way to beat the money, and it's called coaching. And the teams that have good coaches
And consistency.
good managers
Bournemouth
do
spent a lot
well.
of money.
Huddersfield, good coach, good manager. Bournemouth, good coach, good manager. Brighton, even good coach. So money does help, but I think now in football generally, particularly in the Premier League, everybody's got so much money. In a way, outside the really, really 5 rich clubs, the money is just levels everyone out, and then it's down to who's the best coach and who's the best manager. That's why you're seeing Swansea and Hull, who were like a few weeks ago were down and out, and they've got really good coaches in position, and they're sort of pulling out of it.
Do we want some southern teams to come down low? Because I'm telling you, I'm getting sick of this travelling larky.
I reckon Palace are going. I think Palace are going.
I mean,
He's had the stuffing knocked out of him, Allardyce.
Yeah.
hasn't he?
It's not the same,
He
is
hasn't
he?
got the.
oh
fight
dear,
for
how
it.
sad. Never mind.
It would be handy. It would be handy. Just saying, for travel's sake, if West Ham, Palace, can West Ham still go down? They still no.
It's tight down
They
there.
won't.
It's tight. It's quite tight.
Leicester's not too far.
Exactly, it's
No.
only a wee trip. We need some small southern teams
Chelsea?
to come down. Do you know what? I find that also
Sadly,
very depressing.
they have just been safe from relegation. This
Yeah,
year.
they'll be all right.
It's just so
How are you feeling
depressing.
about that, Paul? Because
Sick.
they are pretty
Sick.
sensational.
Sick.
They've pretty much won the league, haven't they?
Chelsea.
It's sick.
So
Katie's always saying that with the.
I can't see them as
But it's sensational as shite.
Can't see them winning the league.
No, I just can't see him as sensational. I just don't enjoy watching them.
I don't think they'll be looked upon as a team in years to come. Or do you remember when that Chelsea team won the league? They won't. Everyone else hasn't been as good as them.
They've got no European football. They've got the same. Basically, the players stopped playing for Mourinho, which is pretty disgusting. And Hazard being a classic example of that.
For his toys.
And as soon as they threw their toys out the pram, the new bloke's come in who seems all right. And he's a good coach, obviously, as well. They've had no distractions in Europe or anywhere else. And to be honest, I don't really care about Chelsea winning the league. I mean, they are literally in a different league to us. The only thing I care about is when we do play them, that we beat them.
I feel like bad saying to people now that my favourite team to watch in the Premier League is Spurs. But they're really good.
There's nothing wrong with
No,
them.
that's okay. Spurs can take that, yeah.
I've always
I thought you were going to say
disliked
Chelsea.
Spurs
Yeah,
a bit.
I've got
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I thought
always
Finney was
sort
going
of
to lynch
disliked
you.
Full of young
Spurs a
English
bit.
players.
Have you seen
Yeah.
in their new stadium? They're going to have the Tunnel Club where you can look into the tunnel.
Yes.
That'd be interesting at QPR.
Talking about
Anyway, yes.
just briefly. We haven't talked about this for at least 3 podcasts. Do we think
What are you
the
talking
training
about?
ground's ever going to happen?
No.
I don't know. Aren't they going through this planning process? They've had the objection in, haven't they? I don't know if that's been heard.
We've got to get out of Harlington. We have to get out of Harlington. We've just got to do something. Find somewhere decent.
If you ever go to Harlington, I don't know who
I've
has and
been,
who
yeah.
hasn't been, but if you go, it's like a Sunday pub team
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
might play. I mean, it's just
It's
a sports ground.
It's very
The
nice.
pitches are nice. The grass is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but if you're a pound with decent quality type players and you want to sign for a youth setup, I would say Harlington's not a good structure, and we need to. Holloway will probably talk them around because he's good at that sort of thing, and Birch and everything else. But
They need to make a
we'd-
decision.
even
about
if we
it soon.
rent it somewhere else for a while, it doesn't have to be this all singing, all dancing thing. Just get the hell out of Harlington. Just what I think.
Okay, R's End. Anything you haven't said, we haven't talked about, we've talked about quite a lot. Who would like to begin? Paul?
Well, I'm just thinking, just quickly. I know we've talked about it, and before we do it, what should happen to linesmen, lineswomen who make absolute ridiculous cock-ups like Saturday? Should they be demoted to the Irish League for a while, perhaps?
I always thought, this has been my theory for years with referees and lines people, it should be that if they make a mistake, or not even if they make a mistake, they should be rotated on a season basis, so we don't know who they all should be qualified to a certain level, and those in the Premier League would then start the following season in League 2, and everyone would just move up. So then, therefore, you get this consistently different referees who but are all treated at the same level.
Because how I hear it is when you're shouting in the Premier League, you're down to the Championship as your punishment,
Which isn't fair.
So we get the arseholes.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is the arseholes in the Championship, get them in the Irish League for a while. That'll teach them.
Tony Pert, his name is, by the way, or Pony Tony as he's
What's
now
his
known.
name?
Tony Pert.
Oh, he's no Hank Chandler, is he?
P-E-A-R.
And the other thing is, do you think certain referees have vendettas against certain clubs? Like,
No.
put it out there, Rob Stiles. Oh, come on.
They shouldn't
Rob
do,
Stiles
but-
hated us.
Hated Rob Steiner, I know that much.
I don't think Lee Mason's a massive fan, is he?
No, and
Must have killed him in the playoff final.
Roger
You
Milford.
talk about luck, those 2 games, our luck evened itself out.
A little bit, yeah, annoyingly, but
Because we were, without luck, we would have got lost and got 0 points to Newcastle. That's the sound of Harry having a hobnob there. We would have lost to Newcastle and got 0 points, and without luck, bad luck, we would have drawn with Blackburn and got 1 point. So it kind of evened itself out, didn't it?
Nah, no, I want to win every game.
Anyone else got an R's End? No,
I'm not R's
not
End.
compulsory.
Oh yes, I have one R's
Oh,
End.
go on then.
Don't
Your-
say it like
for your
that.
second R's End, yeah?
I don't even know we're on the R's End because I can't hear. I've got this cooley thing and I can't hear anything, and that's why I'm probably shouting more than I
Yeah.
should be. I can't, and
Is
anyone-
it about Ryan Manning or Connor Washington? God bless them. We like them both, but is it about either
they
of them?
both play for different Irelands, but let's not get complicated in the peace process
but
thing.
you still you like Ryan Manning more than like an Englishman, wouldn't you?
No, it's anyone in hoops, doesn't matter where they come from.
Okay.
I love the Del Trat. As far as I know, he wasn't from Tipperary, so you know.
Adelo Tarat.
Yeah, so you know,
fair
he might
enough.
end up playing for them if he's not
Yeah.
careful.
Clint
but,
Hill wasn't from Banbridge, you know. So yeah, I'm not getting that.
Did I tell
Anyway,
you I went to Northern Ireland.
and what did you
I
think,
actually
David?
really liked it.
It's a great night out for a weekend.
Where
by
did
the way,
I go? I went
You
somewhere
went, I
north of
didn't.
Belfast, near the sea, near the beach, near the coast at the top.
a country surrounded by sea. I don't know where you mean.
Ballymoney.
Ballymoney, did you
I went
really?
to Ballymoney
All
2
right.
weeks ago, and do you know what? I loved it. It was a lovely area.
Ballymoney
Carry
suits you.
As you say, carry on.
Okay. Yeah. well done to everyone, and I mean this seriously, to go to Newcastle, to go to Blackburn with that support, and at the same week, absolutely brilliant. Everyone who went, I salute you all. Fucking great support we have sometimes. That Football League computer needs to be blown up within fixtures, I'm telling you. And then we've got Preston to come, we've got Birmingham. It's just, well done to everyone who went. You are stars.
These teams be in the same league as
It's
us.
not a case
we have to go and play them.
Why
at
do
their
we
own
have
ground.
Newcastle away on a Wednesday night.
Exactly. Why can't we play them on a
That is
Saturday? I mean, it's ridiculous. I could have gone up there in the piss, and because they changed it, I couldn't. Absolute. Well, it wasn't changed. It was originally there, but absolute shysters.
Chris,
Hi there. Well, funny enough, I was going to say well done to all the fans who made the 560-mile round trip to Newcastle. So I will thank them again.
Hang on a wee second. How come you joined in and mine was a one-hand clap? Favouritism?
But yeah, no, I mean, you could basically on the TV, all you could hear was the Rangers fans, and I know everyone who's been up to Newcastle. I mean, by the time you've managed to climb all those stairs to the top, you're not fit to do anything, let alone sing for 90 minutes. So, yeah, I echo everything that Paul said, and also I guess just off the top of my head that once again, you know, we've got to be patient this season. I think Paul, you know, been to more away games than me. The fans are starting to mellow a bit more. They look a bit less angsty than they were a while back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there wasn't a mad anger on Saturday, and there hasn't been. I mean, Birmingham might be different. I don't think it was that. See, I'm different. The Jimmy Floyd
you
football.
certainly are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Jimmy. I think it was the football as well as a lot of other
Yeah,
things.
no, absolutely.
And we had, as I called it at the time, we had defeat fatigue. And I know we're still getting beat and everything else, but with Holloway and Bircham, we seem to have people there who care for the club, and people put their faith in that.
That's what I mean. I'm getting the sense, really, that people are sort of, you know, despite all the outpourings on Twitter, and we know what goes on there, very fickle, etc., etc. But I think people are prepared to give Holloway and Bircham a bit of time, you know. So I think, get to the end of the season, stay up, and then see what next season brings.
And if you don't win the Champions League in 3 years, get them out.
Ashley, do you have?
I need two little things. I hate the third kit.
Me too.
It's one of the worst.
I should say you are a kit.
I
expert,
do
kit
love.
fan.
I love
you
kits,
love your kits,
and I loved what Dryworld have done with the home kit. I adore the away kit, even though it's completely redundant to wear because it's just pretty much the same colours.
The duck blue one,
Yeah,
duck egg blue.
it's lovely kit, but we won it once.
Duck eggs blue.
Yeah,
They are.
Yeah,
Do you know what
Hence the phrase.
Do you know what cat I'd love?
they can be
sorry.
white as well.
Do you know what cat I'd love to bring back, Ash? Do you remember that 90s cat?
You're in my ear now, Paul, so yeah.
With a red collar.
Oh, yeah.
We played against
Compact,
Philip. We
yeah.
lost 4-1. Les Ferdinand scored an absolute screamer.
Yeah.
I loved that kit.
yeah. It's just I hate the
Intense.
burgundy and yellow. It's just not two
and
colours.
they're not hoops.
Yeah.
They're
It's
they're
just
little,
a very hot, and we wear it every away game, and a lot on the TV. We've been away a lot on the TV.
I know,
and it's
yeah.
that horrible kit.
totally
So,
with you on that.
just
mate.
want to say
Yeah.
thank you, Dryworld. I know we've got Era next season, which I'm quite happy about
Rivals
because
don't exist anymore.
no, I know they've gone, and Era's done some great retro
they
stuff
good?
for Norwich's away kit this season. I love very 90s, very retro, and they're very bespoke, which I love. Hate templated kits.
Well, that's good. That's good.
So we don't
When I
want
was
to
a
be.
kid, Norwich didn't ever need an away kit.
They
Neither
had
did
third,
Wolves.
They've got a third kit this year.
Neither
so.
did Wolves.
No.
These teams didn't need an away kit because they never played a
Well,
team in
technically,
yellow.
we don't need a
Cambridge
third
away
kit.
for Wolves.
Okay, fine. Then that's
Well, no,
it.
you can say
Do
Watford.
put
Yeah,
away for
you,
Watford.
you can say
yeah,
Watford.
but very,
yeah,
very
yeah.
For
rarely.
Norwich, you would
Norwich
probably say
do not, under
Hitchin.
any ever need a third kit.
If they play
ever
Watford.
Only if they played Hitchin.
Hitchin.
Yeah.
If Norwich play Hitchin, I'll give that.
We
one
don't
to you.
really need a third kit because we could have Dennis
No
the Menace.
team
and
needs a third.
really,
kit.
but so yeah, I want to say
It's
that.
all about
They
money.
managed for a good 100 years in football without a third
Yeah,
kit.
I love them because they're always crazy, apart from ours. And the only other thing I want to say, cheap plug. There's an interview with Massimo Longo in the new Kick magazine. So
Can I put one last shout out to the listeners, please? The
they've stopped listening now, Paul.
what I want to know
that was my head hitting the mic.
I just want to know from our history why we dropped the apostrophe and why we dropped the Hammersmith badge. Can anyone fill me in? I'd be greatly appreciated.
You say that every other week, though.
I know the badge. We dropped that to create our own identity away from Hammersmith. I know that. That's a fact. We wanted our own identity, our own football club.
The apostrophe is, of course, the journalists in the room can tell me if I'm wrong. It's grammatically correct to have the apostrophe, but I think it was dropped because it just looks,
It looks
better
ugly, yeah.
without it.
It was Ron Phillips, actually, but I want to know why he dropped it. Anyway, and the other thing
Is that Phillips with an apostrophe? Or
Can we? I think you, Chris. Do you have an Oz? I actually don't. It's optional.
I did, but I just
I'm
forgot.
choosing not to have one. I'm choosing not to have one.
No, I don't have one. But I will say I was at the boxing on Saturday, and I spotted in the distance, in one of the front rows, Chris Ramsey watching on. So yeah, good to see him down there.
This is the Eubank fight.
It was the Eubank fight. Yeah, I think it was with one of QPR's fitness coaches, Troy Bantelman. Watching
Roy
on.
Bantam, that's a
I'd
good
love
name
that
for
for
a
him.
boxer,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh, it's no Hank Chandler. Come on.
That's what we need. We need a QPR boxer. That's what we need in a Hall of Fame.
Well, we've got Mark
We've
Bircham
got-
on the
we-
touchline.
And we've got
Well, Lee
world
Cook's,
champion.
Lee Cook's cousin.
James
James
DeGale.
DeGale. Yeah, but sometimes he's Arsenal as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's Arsenal, isn't he?
He is
He's just
QPR.
his cousins with Lee Cook.
and he's not
Right.
QPR.
I think he's just
All right. Predictions for Huddersfield.
1-1.
To who? Paul?
I like what you just did there.
Yeah.
I think we'll win 2-1.
You don't really think that.
I
Ash?
don't.
Yes, I
like
do.
to
I don't
predict-
ask me.
I don't like to predict us to lose, so yeah, I'll go with a draw. I'll go for a boring 0-0.
Can I just
You won't
say
get
that?
that with Huddersfield.
Can I just say I was here last Tuesday and I said we'd draw 2-2 Newcastle.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you put money on it?
No, I didn't because I should have backed up
What's on
really.
that?
Probably around 16-1, I reckon. So I am going to go for 2-1 this weekend.
Right. Get
To
your money
QPR.
on it.
To
To
QPR.
QPR.
QPR. yeah.
QPR. I don't think we'll win, so I'll go for 1-1. Right. That's
See,
it.
can I just notice favouritism again? I say 2-1 to QPR. You say, you don't really mean that. He says 2-1.
Yeah, but I'm on a one-game winning streak.
Oh, at least you're honest.
Thank you very much. This has been the QPR podcast. We will be back next week. This has been Open All Hours.
QPR, QPR.